have arrived. Finally, it is Championship Sunday. That's right, and you have come to the right place. This is your daily sports betting brand of record. We call it the Early Edge. We are powered, as always, by the almighty SportsLine, the best value in all of sports. Let's get that chat going. Pound that like button for me. For every 100 likes, we're going to drop a 3-month free trial code into the chat. First come, first serve to join us at SportsLine. Now, for the donkey to be given out today, or we're calling it the burrow, 500 likes. For 600 likes, that's how many it takes to get to the VJM, first touchdown of the game. And as you know, we have been hitting a little bit lately, so it pays just to hit that like button. It's free. If you don't subscribe to our YouTube channel, by the way, do that right now. It is also free. So you know, when we're down to the final 4 teams in the NFL, I got to bring in all my heavy hitters, all the big dogs. And look at this lineup. First and foremost, live from Nashville, Tennessee, the penthouse level. M Squared, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Coach. It's almost game time here. You said big dog. I thought Chief was going to jump up. I'm sure he will when we get into some of the Bengals props. But, yeah, let's do this. I can't wait for this game.
Also live from Nashville, Tennessee, but 8 floors below. Dial up. AB, what's good?
What's good, Coach? What's good, everybody? Look, let me tell you, I was down 4 a.m. mopping the floors, so be ready for these games. We've got all of our work done. The building is clean. Mikey, I hope you enjoy it. Yeah, let's have a great show today.
You're mopping my tears up from Medvedev at 4 a.m. is what you're doing.
I felt so bad for you today on that one, by the way. Oh, golly. And then he was so gracious in defeat. I was like, you could have been gracious in victory, too. That would have been nice. All right, live from Parts Unknown. He is our prop God. Alex, Prop Stars, good afternoon.
What's good, Coach? Gentlemen, good to see you, Coach. We were matching this morning, but a bit of a wardrobe change. In lieu of the Royal Rumble last night, I had to represent my favorite wrestler of all time.
Oh, Stone Cold Steve Austin? The
That's
same
right.
man who nearly collapsed my kidney? That guy? That Stone Cold? By the way,
Stone Cold.
I defy anybody to find a video of somebody taking the Stone Cold Stunner better than your boy. I took it the best. I don't care what Rock says. I took it the best. Okay, Maestro, have you ever taken a Stone Cold Stunner?
I have not, and I'm just going to leave it to you.
Sometimes a bad beat in college basketball feels like a Stone Cold Stunner. I can be honest with that. All right, let's jump right in. Our first game today, the AFC Championship game, and it's going to be an absolute banger. We've got the Bengals on one side. We've got the Chiefs on the other. The number currently, I believe, Jeweler, is 7 and 54.5. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Thank you very much, sir. So those are the 2 numbers we are working off of today. Many of you who don't live in the Kansas City area, I know what you're thinking. What's the weather like today? What does the field look like today? So I made a phone call to my source in Kansas City. And I said, listen, I need to know. I need to see. So let's watch this right now because this was taken about 45 minutes to an hour ago, okay? As you can see, beautiful blue skies. Perfect conditions on the field. This will not be an issue today. It is not cold. It is absolutely perfect. So thank you to my man in Kansas City for shooting that video. So, Mikey, I'm going to start with you because storylines today, they lean into the Bengals when you look at trends. But I know that you're not about trends. We just found out that Tyrann Mathieu will play today. How big of a deal is that considering what the Bengals have on offense?
Yeah, it's an absolutely huge deal. Having both the combination of him and Fenton in the lineup together makes a huge difference for the Kansas City secondary. It's a great thing that Mathieu is playing. I really, really like this spot for him individually. And it's going to be fun to see if they can contain Jamar Chase and make someone else besides Jamar Chase beat them. I think that's going to be a focus for Kansas City, and having Mathieu on the field definitely helps that a lot.
All right, very, very good. Maestro, we're going to do our best bets very, very shortly, but you look at Joe Burrow, 5-0 straight up, 5-0 against the spread in his last 5 starts, 344 yards a game, 11 passing touchdowns, 1 interception. How do we not bang the over for everything Joe Burrow today?
I would, and listening to Alex and his fellow prop gurus the other night, they convinced me that Joe Burrow is going to sail over this number because the Bengals have gone more pass heavy down the stretch. Joe Mixon has not been effective. The way to beat the Chiefs is not to try to run the ball. You have to be aggressive. You have to be like the Bills. I do expect him to sail over most of his numbers today, even though I'm on the Chiefs.
All right, very good. AB, you are our quarterback whisperer and our field goal kicker whisperer. Are you seeing anything from those angles today that you like?
Well, I'll say this, field goal kicking, it's weird to say that Harrison Butker might be the least trusted kicker coming into this because he's been one of the best in the NFL for years now, right? I would look to the quarterbacks for exactly what you just said, exactly what Maestro just said. You look at the Chiefs, they played 2 playoff games so far. Against the Steelers, 42 points. Against the Bills, 42 points. And if you look at Joe Burrow, the last 7 games with Joe Mixon, 70 yards rushing or fewer. They've gone straight to the passing game. So, yeah, I would focus on these quarterbacks, focus on their overs. That's where your money's going to be made.
If that's going to be the game script, Alex, when you went into the lab the last 3 or 4 days, what were you really trying to focus on when you know you have so many weapons and, as you like to say, mouths to feed?
Yeah, quite a few mouths to feed. What I like about Cincinnati is how condensed the target share is. When you look across the board, we know exactly where a lot of these targets are going to be allocated. They're going to go towards the top 3 receivers and the tight end in the running back. Whereas if you look at Kansas City side of thing, outside of Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce, it's a little bit of a guessing game where those targets are going to be distributed. Could Demarcus Robinson have a big game? Could McCole Hardman? Obviously, we've seen Byron Pringle ascend recently, but there are a lot of guys who could potentially put up a lot of stats for Kansas City, and Mahomes is not afraid to share the ball. So kind of just trying to pick and choose where I think those targets are going to go has been kind of the emphasis of my focus.
All right. I am anxious to see what you came up with because, as many of you know, we like to do our best bets at the beginning of the show. If you have a prop that you would like us to hit on or talk about, go ahead and drop it into the chat for me. And go ahead and leave the juice as well because it's very, very important to my guys. And keep that like button going because, my man, the jeweler is just casually dropping in 3-month codes. But I need you to leave that Twitter handle and be active. That's how we select who we want to be members with us at SportsLine. All right, let's get into our best bets for this game today. And Mikey, I'm going to come to you. We're going to leave this screen up the entire time, but I want you to start with what you have as your best bets today. Go.
All right. First one is a teaser. Chiefs -1 with the 49ers +9.5. This one is obviously one of my favorite plays of the week here. I think the Chiefs get it done. 49ers keep it within the key numbers here at 9.5. And then a similar play on that with some alt lines. Kansas City moving that number up to -3.5. And then pairing it with the 49ers +14.5, because I think that one is the more vulnerable side. And then I have Cincinnati, Kansas City under 54.5 here. My simulations make it 51.6. I do not include referee data in the playoffs in the simulation number. However, Bill Vinovich, over the last 6 seasons, 55, 34, and 2 for 60% towards the under. Really like this spot here as he does not call many penalties, which I think benefits Kansas City a lot more than it does Cincinnati.
All right, I love those. Quick chat question for you, Mikey. Aren't the Chiefs, where did it go? It keeps moving. We have so many people. Aren't the Chiefs really solid in first quarter points from Thomas?
They're solid in pretty much everything points. So to be honest with you, they're just a very efficient offense. So yeah, they do put up points in the first quarter, but they put up points in most quarters just because they're so efficient offensively. If you're asking or wanting to lean on a first quarter total, I'm not playing the under in the first quarter. I have the under in the game, but I do still lean towards it if you're getting the 10.5.
Okay, very good.
Yeah, Chiefs tied with the Cowboys, 7.2 points per first quarter, most in the NFL.
Boom. That's why my guys are the best in the business. Okay, Maestro, there's a reason I'm coming to you next. What are your best bets today, please?
Well, it's interesting. Darrell Williams is active with the toe injury and is going to play, but yet Edwards-Helaire rushing prop continues to go up. We talked about it this morning at 37.5. I'm seeing 39.5. This guy was very explosive coming back after a month off. He's had 2 separate 1-month breaks in his season, but I think he will be the primary running back. And I think McKinnon, that's a prop I'm looking at right now, and I'm eager to hear what the guys think. 25.5 for receiving. I'm seeing 26.5. He has shattered that the last couple weeks. It's not even close. The Bengals give up a ton. We know over the middle, 2 running backs, 2 tight ends. That's one I'm looking at, still toying with. And then the Chiefs team total over 30. They were not really slowed down in that first game in terms of 7.1 yards a play, 6.7 yards per rush. They only got 3 drives in the second half. That was amazing. The Bengals really controlled the ball in the second half in that comeback. 10 penalties really obstructed the Chiefs in that second half and kept those Bengals drives going. But yeah, every home playoff game, we've said this before, every home playoff game that Patrick Mahomes has started and finished, at least 31 points.
All right, that's a great numbers, but it begs the question now, because we're always a discussion show and not everybody agrees. So if you think the Chiefs hit this, then you don't think, if you agree with Mikey's under, that the Bengals get to 25. Would that be accurate, or do you not agree with the under?
I don't agree with Mikey's under. I mean, I think he got the best number. I mean, it's all the way up to 54.5. It was 51.5 when it opened, and I certainly wouldn't play it at this rate. I wouldn't play the over 54. But if you force me to pick even now at 54.5, I would still play over. But yeah, I'm not playing it at this high.
Okay, very, very good, and that's fair. That's absolutely fair. All right, AB, you're up. Talk to me.
Yeah, Coach. So you're going to see 5 plays that I have here. They're kind of all correlated, right? Off of 2 historic trends, one just from the NFL and the second one, Coach, actually from you. So we're going to go Chiefs -7. Look, you look at we've had 10 playoff games so far this postseason. All 10 teams that won the game covered the spread. Now, we had 4 underdogs that won outright. Yeah, that's going to bump the number, but that's still 6 favorites. And if you go back to the last 34 NFL playoff games, the team that won the game, 31 of them covered the spread, right? So we're going to go Chiefs. I think they win the game. I think they cover the spread. And then the last 4, Burrow over 38.5 pass attempts, Patrick Mahomes longest completion over 37.5 yards, Jamar Chase longest reception over 27.5 yards, and Tyreek Hill longest reception over 24.5 yards. They really all correlate to this. I think there are going to be points put on the board in this game. And I think both quarterbacks and their star wide receivers, Coach, that you talk about, guys that they're familiar with, those have been the postseason all year long in this postseason, right? So we're going to play all 5 of those. And if you look at the Chiefs' last 6 games, they've had a total of 60.5 on average points scored in all 6 of those. So we're going to have some points. Let me get all 5 of these right here.
I love those plays. And to be honest, the way you have it, you could cash 2 for 1 almost. It's got to be 2 for 1. It's got to be 2 for 1. I love it. I love it. I love it. By the way, the bosses just texted me and they said, hey, your family today is doing pretty good, but they could be doing better. Well over 700 people watching right now, only 300 likes. Let's get those likes up. Every single person watching, take the 5 seconds, take the chat down, hit the like button, put the chat right back up, and we are good to go. All right. Now, if you watched our prop show on Friday with Uncle Dave and Sia, you're one of the lucky ones, because when you watch it live and you get to hit that number and then it changes because my guys are the best, that's the world we live in. So, Alex, I'm coming back to you, big boy, because people are waiting with bated breath. What are you on today?
Yeah, I've got 3 props, starting with an A-B special. I'm not talking Antonio Brown. I'm talking Allen Bell. I'm going Bengals rookie kicker Evan McPherson over 6.5 points. Interestingly enough, I saw a graphic before I came on Twitter of the 5 top bets, prop bets from this game. This actually ranked number 2. Interestingly enough, McPherson has been absolutely money. That's why they call him Money Mac. He's gone over this in 6 straight games, gone over 11 of the last 13 games overall, averaging 11.3 kicking points over the last 6 games as well. 9 of 11 on 50-plus yard field goals. We saw how crisp and beautiful and sunny and windless that weather looks, courtesy of your video coach. So we got great conditions there. I love Evan McPherson over 6.5 points. Next up, I've got Travis Kelce over 75.5 receiving yards. This guy has dispelled all the talk of him having lost a step in the regular season. He has been absolutely phenomenal in the playoffs. 2 straight performances over 96 yards. Gone over this in 5 straight playoff games dating back to last season, averaging over 100 yards in those 5-game samples, averaging 85.5 yards in 14 career playoff games as well. Truly historic stuff. I talked about that earlier today. I love Kelce. Also, the Bengals are a very, very friendly matchup, ranking 24th in passing DVOA to the tight end position, giving up the 4th most yards and the 3rd most receptions to tight ends over the course of the regular season as well. So this is a great matchup on paper for Kelsey. Also, speaking of tight ends, I like CJ Uzama over 3.5 receptions. This is the first time I am giving this play out. Uncle Dave was on this from the prop show. Absolutely love it. Was also delighted to see this at -128 on FanDuel, which is the current price of this. So I would jump on FanDuel to grab this because I don't expect it to be up there for very long. Uzama has gone over this in 4 straight games, including 5 of the last 6 overall. 4 receptions the last time these two teams met in week 17. Has at least 6 targets in 6 of the last 7 games. Chiefs are a good matchup on paper as well. 18th in DVOA to the tight end position. I expect him to be open all day. Plenty of soft spots in the Chiefs defense. I think they're going to play a lot of 2 high safeties and really try and contain Jamar Chase and company. So I think Uzama is going to have plenty of looks over the middle of the field and close to the line of scrimmage, which is why I love his reception line over 3.5.
2 questions for you, Alex. On the CJ Uzama prop, a lot of books have him at 4.5 now, but with plus money. Would you still like that?
Skip it there.
Skip it there. And the other one is McPherson is now at 7.5 points at a lot of books. Would you play that?
I'm staying off that. I'm sticking to the 6.5 number with these. Are pretty fragile. I talked about efficiency a lot. One of the things I kind of highlighted when I've been discussing props in the playoff, these are very fragile numbers in my opinion. You have to be very strict and disciplined with these numbers due to the fragility. So yeah, I stick with the original numbers. If you don't have them, you just got to skip them, unfortunately.
Joey in the chat says, I love listening to Alex talk. Guess what, Joe? So do we. So do we. Using some big words, though, today, I might add, Alex, that AB may not understand. So let's keep that in mind, okay? Mikey, let me come to you because last week we cashed it, and you said of this prop that the way the Bills play defense would open it up and he would cash it easily. That's exactly what happened. And I'm talking about Patrick Mahomes' rushing number. This week, it's around, last time I checked, the 29 to 31 range, okay? Do you like this prop this week with the defense that the Bengals play against the Chiefs?
I certainly don't like it as much as I did last week. They don't defend exactly the same way, and I don't expect them to get as much pass rush as the Bills are able to at certain times. And then the other thing that is a little concerning for me is just having Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Darrell Williams active. There's slightly less of a need for Mahomes to take off and run. Initially, why he started running a little bit in the last few games, in addition to just being competitive playoff type games, was he's not as comfortable dumping the ball to some of the other players like he was used to with Darrell Williams and some of the other spots. I also am not projecting the ultra competitive game script that we saw with the Bills game. So all of those things take me off of it just a little bit. If you can somehow find a 25, I think that's fine. If you can watch it live and potentially play it if the game is competitive, that's another play that I would be fine with. If we see a very competitive game, we see Kansas City trailing in this game, especially after the start of the second quarter, that's when I think you can jump on it. But as much as I want to play it and as much as I think he's going to run, I'm going to lay off of it because I'm also still projecting about 4 negative rushing yards at the end of this one.
Okay. Very, very good. Jeweler, can you throw up the screen one more time, please? I wanted to get to that Mahomes prop quickly because so many people are asking about it, but I really want to quickly hit Dave's picks and see his picks to make sure everybody has those as well. So RJ is on Chase, receiving total. That's good. Mixon over 30.5 from Dave. Receiving yards, we're going to hit on that. Uzama over 3.5 catches. So now both Alex and Dave are on that at 3.5. Don't play it at 4.5. The plus money looks sexy. It can be, that's the reason they put it there. That's the reason they put it there. And then see, he's on Pringle over 3.5 catches. And then Clyde Edwards-Helaire as a longer rush under 11.5 yards. And then Micah, one play. He's on the over opposite of M squared. So those are all of our best bets for the game today. Maestro, let me come to you because the big name on that side is Jamar Chase. We talk about his yardage total, which now, as we see, we gave it out on Friday, it was 82. It's already up to 87 now. His catch total is 5.5. Do you like either number at the current numbers?
I'm not playing it, but there's no way I'm going under on anything Jamar Chase, and I don't care that the Chiefs are going to put 2 guys on him. supposedly bracket him. This guy is going to be fed the ball. He can get it in different ways. He's just that good. And obviously we know with one play, he can get the bulk of this receiving yard. So I'm not on it myself, but there's no way I would play it under.
Okay, very good. AB, let me come to you because you already put 2 longest receptions out there. The chat wants to know, what about T. Higgins? Over 24.5 for him.
So that's exactly what I was about to say, right? Like the Chiefs could put 2 people on Jamar Chase and even still good luck. Like that guy is that good, but you could put 2 on him and then T. Higgins, like he could go for a Benjamin as well, right? Really quickly. So we saw it against Tennessee. Like the minute that you kind of, gear up on Chase, man, T. Higgins could light it up too. So I don't hate it either. Like I think T. Higgins in this game, especially if we get the game script that we all kind of think that, Cincinnati is playing from a 3 to 7 point deficit generally in this game. Yeah, T. Higgins is going to get every look to smash on that as well.
Do you have something, Alex?
I did. I'm going to put this out there right now. This may be a bold take. I'm predicting T. Higgins is the leading receiver today for Cincinnati.
Oh, snap. Snap. Can you say that? Everybody look into the camera. Can you say that one more time for me?
I am predicting that T. Higgins is the leading receiver today for the Bengals.
Pause. Okay, good. Thank you very much. Now, I had another one I was getting ready to come to you on, Alex. I wasn't even about that, but that was a bold take, a very, very bold take. Now, last week, some of the numbers we know got inflated because of that incredible finish, the last 2 minutes and overtime. But the name that came through last week that we haven't even mentioned yet is Tyreek Hill. His catches are actually at 6.5, just like Kelsey. His yardage is at 79.5, minus 125. Do you think you'll have another big day like you did last week?
I'm leaning towards yes. To me, it's kind of what Maestro talked about regarding Chase. It's over or nothing. However, I do think, especially the receiving yards are fairly efficient. If you could still find, there were a couple 5.5s that were juiced. What I like about Tyreek and his usage is if they're not finding him deep, the Chiefs make a real concerted effort to get the ball in his hands close to the line of scrimmage. So I could totally foresee a scenario where he ends up with 6 or 7 grabs, but maybe falls short of the yardage total just because of the way they get this guy involved. He's going to get double-digit targets, and if Mahomes isn't finding him deep down the field, he's going to be targeted close to the line of scrimmage. So wouldn't surprise me to see him finishing with a game like 7 or 8 receptions for 60 yards and staying under the yardage line, but going over on reception. So I actually prefer his receptions with Tyreek this week.
Okay, so that would be 7 catches to cash. And, yeah, there have been a lot of those little out routes or just that little throw it ahead of him as he's running in front of him. That's a catch. That counts as a catch. Another name we're not talking about, but he's become very, very important, Mikey, to this Chiefs offense. And several people in the chat are asking about Mr. McKinnon. Where are we at today on how much you think the Chiefs will rely on him, or do you think Andy will get a little bit scared and go back to his guy last week who ran for 60 yards, Mr. Allaire?
Yeah, there's a reason I made the jersey change from the morning show from Kelsey over to Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I'm expecting a big work from Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
All right, we're losing Mikey. I can't hear you at all, Mikey. I apologize. I really wanted to hear that take. Obviously, his equipment is off a little bit right now with Mikey, and that sucks. But maybe dump out. Maybe it'll come back in. But right now, we can't hear you at all. So let me go to Alex on this then. Your thoughts on McKinnon and his usage?
So, yeah, I've been looking at McKinnon very, very closely. Maestro brought it up, something I'm very interested in. Well, I've been very impressed with the usage as a pass catcher. We've seen some really good games with Darrell Williams, the mentor, out of the lineup. However, I was keeping my fingers crossed that we wouldn't see Darrell Williams today. Unfortunately, he is going to be active. I do think he's going to eat in to some of those snaps that are very valuable as the primary pass catching back, because this is a great matchup on paper. The Bengals are a funnel to receiving running backs. Cincinnati, their defense has allowed a 23.6% target share to running backs over the course of the regular season. That is the third highest rate in the NFL. So whoever is getting those snaps and those targets out of the backfield is very valuable. However, it is going to be a crowded backfield with Darrell Williams active, because he is a very competent pass catcher as well. So unfortunately, as bullish as I am on McKinnon at 25.5, I'd be all over this if Williams wasn't active. I am staying away with the three-headed monster with the Chiefs running back. So yeah, just with Darrell Williams active, it's hard for me to trust that he's going to get that work out of the backfield.
AB and then Maestro piggyback.
Yeah, so there is a game script here. If you look at the last 4 games for both of these teams, the last 4 meaningful, the Bengals are actually outscoring the Chiefs in the first half, about 19 points to 17 points on average. So we could get a game script where if the Bengals stay true to that, the Chiefs are kind of actually playing from behind just a little bit, and you're going to get more opportunities of this ball and the game speed of their offense going. Where you look at it also is that if that happens, you look at the last 4 games in the second half, the Chiefs are overwhelmingly outscoring the Bengals to a tune of 17 points to barely 10. So if you see the Bengals go up early, yeah, if you've got live props, put them on the Chiefs, because that is the ultimate game script you will find. You're going to get a ton of opportunities of players all over the field.
Yeah, and I just wanted to chime in on Williams. You know, he had a game with 9 catches on 9 targets for over 100 yards. He had 452 receiving yards. He has multiple games over 30 receiving yards. And, yeah, it's just his presence is just going to keep me off McKinnon as well.
Okay. Mikey, let's try you one more time, because you know I value your addition to the show so very, very much. Is that working again? Have we fixed it?
It might be.
Yeah, it's good now. It's good now. All right, so your take there, but also as we're talking, you know what? You just go. I know you had something to say. You just go.
Yeah, it's mostly what the guys talked about here. I'm not going to take the unders, but I'm not playing anything here. If you were to play McKinnon, it would be over on the receiving yards. I just really respect Darrell Williams' passing ability. I think some of Mahomes' running too was the unfamiliarity of playing with McKinnon as much. So I am staying off of it completely. I think the backfield's going to be a mess. I think all 3 see the field today.
I think the one thing we need to, for those that aren't huge Chiefs fans and understand that from game to game, the most difficult thing about finding props for these guys and understanding what to play is that Andy Reid plays no favorites. Whatever the game calls for, he'll go to that guy, and he'll go and go and go and go, and he doesn't care. He does not care. He threw an underhanded pass to a 350-pound lineman last week in the face. I mean, he doesn't care. He does not care. Let's talk some quarterback numbers, because people love betting these quarterbacks. We've talked that we feel like Burrow is going to sail over his yardage, but some secret bets to play would be completions and or attempts. Now, Alex, and anybody wants to piggyback on this is fine. Burrow completes 70% of his passes on the year. His number is 38.5 and 24.5 for those two. You like either one?
Most accurate quarterback in the league. I want to add as well, just the metrics with this guy are just off the charts. Burrow is playing at such an incredibly high level right now, and that is in spite of a bottom 10 offensive line that is giving him very little time. So I am just beyond impressed with what I've seen out of Joe Burrow. However, I do think these numbers are fairly efficient. I am leaning over on all of them, absolutely, though, attempts and completions and his yardage. If I had to choose one, it would probably be attempts as my favorite, yardage as my second favorite, and then completions I think is a very efficient number at 24.5, but I'm absolutely leaning on all 3 of these. I expect him to eclipse them all.
Yeah, when you look at the numbers that the jeweler is putting up right now, this dude has been lights out. But let's keep in mind, Maestro, that last week he looked very average in the second half. He got sacked 9 different times. Should we be a little bit careful with some of the Joe Burrow hype talk and the hype train potentially coming to an end today if the Chiefs figured out what the Titans figured out a week ago?
The Chiefs have a decent pass rush, but nothing like what he saw last week from the Titans. I don't think he will be on his back 9 or 10 times. I mean, to him not to turn the ball over and to be focused when he did have a couple seconds to throw and, not be looking at the pass rush is amazing. So I think I like his completions as the one of the three that were on the screen. That's the one I like the most.
Okay. Completions more than attempts.
Coach, can I jump in real quick?
Of course. Of course.
All right. So what you were just talking about in terms of Joe Burrow and the sacks that he took against Tennessee, understand one thing. We spoke about it last week with the Rams and Matthew Stafford against the Bucs and how good Stafford is against the blitz, and it forced Tampa Bay to stop blitzing because Matthew Stafford is the number 2 quarterback in the NFL against the blitz. Well, guess who's number 1 in efficiency? Joe Burrow. So the Chiefs could find themselves to where if you're running a cover 2, cover 3, you get stuck with only being able to bring 4 because if you bring extra personnel, he can destroy you. So pay attention to that. So even if Joe Burrow is, getting hit by a porous offensive line, he will still strike. So be careful with that.
All right. Real quick. Who wants to take this one? Somebody in the chat said with what I just said about the sacks a week ago with 9, the total sack number in this game, and we don't do a lot of defensive props, some, is over 5.5. Go ahead, Alex.
I just wanted to real quick.
Oh, no! Oh, no! You pulled a Jay Smooth on the conference championship show.
I did. Shout out Jay Smooth, by the way. I just wanted to real quick, while we're on the subject of sacks, IDP, I'd be remiss if I didn't bring this up. If a lot of books don't offer individual sack props, but some of them do. If you can find Chris Jones to record a sack, I've seen it at -115, -120. I absolutely love this IDP. We saw, I love this IDP prop. We saw last week what Danico Autry, Jeffrey Simmons did from the interior of the Titans defensive line, just absolutely destroyed the interior of the Bengals. I expect Chris Jones to record a sack today. He is a game wrecker for Kansas City, and if you can find him to record a sack around -115, I love that prop.
It's -142 right now on FanDuel.
All right, very good. Thank you, Maestro. By the way, Maestro, coming back to you, the chat wants to know, apparently the number for Edwards-Helaire is up in some places to 40.5. Would you still play it?
Yeah, maybe for smaller. I really think he's going to be, when they do run the ball, I mean, I'm expecting a very pass-heavy game script, but if you get 8 carries from him, I think he goes over that.
All right. There's been some funny things in the chat that every time I see AB laughing, I have to go to the chat because I know somebody has said something funny. Somebody said that you look like you're going to go hunting after the show. And then they said, one of them said that Mikey has something about your equipment and your
yeah, he's got the dial up now, but yeah, they said it best.
Yeah.
AB just loves chaos, and yeah, I do. I just love pure chaos. It makes me laugh.
Oh my God, you really, really do. Mikey, let me come back to you. We got a little odds boost that my man Eric in the chat is all over. Do you like it though? 3 passing touchdowns from Patrick Mahomes, Kelsey at least 75 plus receiving yards plus 400.
I don't like it just because of the passing touchdowns part of it. Yes, I do expect them to score a lot of points, but he can run the football in. They do end arounds with Tyreek, with Mecole Hardman. They've got all 3 running backs back there. So it's a fragile situation. I would expect the number on that to be about where it is without the Kelsey yardage tacked onto it. So it's not, for me, it's not good enough to play. And just keep in mind, odds boosts like that are odds boosts for a reason for the most part. Unless they're obvious odds boosts that are like legitimately free money limited to $25 bets, they're mostly there for a reason.
That's exactly right. Perhaps like this next one that I'll come back to Maestro on. Both teams to score at least 2 touchdowns in both halves plus 1,300. I don't know. Roll the dice.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
Yeah,
that's a lot. That's 8 touchdowns.
Yeah,
if
but
it's evenly distributed.
Yeah, but I don't know if we got into Pringle so much. I saw a bunch of people asking about Pringle.
Well, he's one of our best bets. So.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, so we came out at the beginning. Over 3.5 is one of our best bets. But go ahead. Go ahead.
No. I was just going to say, I totally agree. 7 targets. I think in 6 of his last 6 games, at least 7 targets. So yeah, I like that a lot at 3.5.
Okay, very, very good. Now, we know we need to stop 10 or 15 minutes early so you can get all of these bets in because we know there's a lot and the game starts at noon. So we have two more very important things to do. Then we got to get the hell out of Dodge. We just hit 500 likes. Good job by all of you at home. Great job. So you've earned the right to see the most fun parlay in all of sports betting. We normally call it the donkey. Today, it's the burro. See what we did there? Now, here is what it looks like, and leave it to my man M Squared to give us a super-sized championship Sunday donkey / burro. Mike, oh, by the way, we need to get to 600 likes for the VJM. I need 100 more during the next 3 minutes so we can do the VJM as well. So pound that like button. Mikey, the floor is yours.
All right, let's see. Can you hear me, first of all?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Kansas City Chiefs -1/2 of a point. Bengals +14.5. The under 64.5 total points in the game. Under 79.5 rushing yards for Joe Mixon. Over 19.5 receiving yards for Joe Mixon. Mecole Hardman over 9.5 receiving yards. Travis Kelce over 64.5. CJ Uzama over 19.5. And Jamar Chase over 69.5 receiving yards, plus 1,600. And then for those of you that hate unders, feel free to turn the under 64.5 into the over 44.5, and you'll have somewhat of a similar payout on that one.
Always giving opportunities to everybody, not just those that like the overs. Sometimes if you like the unders as well. Soak it all in, write it all down. We're going to give you time to get it in at the end of the show. Don't worry about it. Plus 1,600. We'll go over it one more time after the VJM. So how close are we to 600 likes? Jeweler?
We have 534 right now.
Oh, interesting. 534. So here's what I'm going to do. We're very, very quickly going to go over our best bets one more time for those people who dropped in at the bottom of the hour. If we don't have 600 by then, we're not going to do it. We'll just play amongst ourselves. So one more time, guys. I just need you to say what it is. Don't need a big dissertation. Just give us your best bets one more time. And then if we have enough likes, we'll do the VJM or we'll let people get their bets in. So let's start right at the top there. Mikey, talk to me.
Chiefs -1 paired with the 49ers +9.5. And then an alternate version of that same teaser, Chiefs -3.5, 49ers +14.5. And then I like the under 54.5 in this game. Must be 54.5. Do not play it at 54.
Boom. Maestro.
All right. Yeah. Well, Kelce over 72.5. And one thing, and I do want to get to our VJM because the Bengals give up a ton to tight end, second most targets to tight end. And that's a hint of what I'm going to give out in the VJM.
Very interesting. Very, very interesting. AB, talk to me.
Yep. Look at the lineup on this sheet right here, right? It's done by our economic status in the building. Mikey right there at the top. I'm at the bottom. Chiefs -7. Joe Burrow over 38.5 pass attempts. Mahomes longest completion over 37.5 yards. Jamar Chase longest reception over 27.5 yards. Tyreek Hill longest reception over 24.5 yards. And economic status, we are going to cash these bets and get elevator access today, baby.
Oh, snap. He wants to go all the way to the top. The big question is, would Mikey even answer the door? I don't know.
No chance.
I don't know. No chance. All right, Alex, talk to me, big boy.
Did I hear dissertation, Coach? It has been said by some linguistic anthropologists that, no, I'm just kidding. I'm going Evan McPherson over 6.5 kicking points. Travis Kelce over 75.5 receiving yards. CJ Uzama over 3.5 receptions.
All right. I love all of those. I've gotten almost every single one in. All right. So normally I like to throw in an extra play. And so I'm going to do that. I'm calling an audible right now. Nobody has given it. I'm very disappointed in all of you. So I'm making an official pick right here, right now. And I'm going to go Patrick Mahomes over the 30.5 rushing yards, official play from the coach. I'm putting my 95% plus percentage win streak on the line in the championship game because it's what I do. I put my record, unlike Floyd Mayweather, on the line when the lights are the brightest. Now, I've wasted enough time. Have we got to 600 likes yet?
Coach, we are sitting at 5 likes away. Could you repeat that Mahomes play?
The Patrick Mahomes over 30.5 rush yards as an official best bet for wait a second. It's the bosses. They literally just texted me. Once again, ruining my flow. Let me read this. I'll read this word for word. Coach, I know normally you don't do the VJM unless they hit the number. You have to do it today. It's Championship Sunday. Oh.
Well, we also just hit 600.
Oh, thank God. Thank God. I did not want to tell the bosses no. I would have. But we don't have to. All right, here's what we're doing. For those of you brand new to the show, VJM, we picked the first touchdown of the game. Has to be plus 1,000 or higher because we don't go chalk here. No chalk at the early edge. So this was named for my man M Squared, so he always gets to go first. Mikey, who you taking today?
I'm going with Mecole Hardman, plus 2,200. I like this spot for him. I think that he's obviously not going to be a focal point of the defense. I think he takes a little screen pass into the end zone. Love Mecole Hardman today, plus 2,200.
Oh, that's a tasty number for Mr. Hardman. All right, AB, I'm coming to you.
Yeah, the Bengals are going to run a cover 3 all the way down the field against Patrick Mahomes, which is an absolute mistake. But once they get to the red zone, they'll go almost to an 85 Bears 46 zone, which will stop all of the passing. That means Patrick Mahomes, right up the gut, plus 1,700. Give you the Patty Mahomes special. He's taking it in himself.
See, that I will be I'm kind of conflicted right there because I want Patrick Mahomes to score. I do not want you to get a third pass into the club. Oh, it'll drive me crazy. All right, Maestro, I know you wanted to do the VJM more than anybody because you just said it. Who do you got, big boy?
Yeah, and I love that I got this one in before Mikey. Blake Bell, 90-1 on DraftKings. The Chiefs, they love it. Andy Reid loves this guy. He won a Super Bowl with them a couple years ago, went to the Cowboys, came back. They used him as an option QB. When they played the Bengals the last time, he had a rush and a target inside the red zone. I mean, it's a deep, deep flyer, but at 90-1 with Andy Reid, loving this guy. And some people say he uses him too much. He's 6'6". Let's go. 90-1.
I love that play. It is so high that a lot of books don't even have it, but the right ones do. So we'll take that 90-1. All right. Now, maybe it's on purpose. Maybe it's just because I like to rub things in just a little bit. But my man, Alex, one of my favorite human beings in all of the land. However, when the four of us are kicking in the club and we're just popping corks and the bottles and everything's flowing, yes, he's in there. Yes, he's in the club with us, but he always gets looked at sideways. They're like, does he really belong? I don't know. Alex, I'm sorry. I'm rambling, Alex. Go ahead. Who are you taking tonight?
It's true. They keep asking me for my ID, too. I brought a passport in last time. That wasn't sufficient. So, yeah, it's been tough for me in the club, gentlemen. I am going with a guy that famously got none other than Jonathan Coachman into the club. That is Bengals tight end CJ Uzomah. I talked about why I like his matchup today for receptions. This guy scored a touchdown versus the Chiefs in Week 17. He has been very good all season, especially in the red zone. Nice big target for Joe Burrow, plus 2,000. I do want to point out that I originally picked T. Higgins at plus, I believe, 1,400 or 1,600, which I do think is mispriced. Nice value there. I will be soul crushed if T. Higgins gets it after pivoting off of him last minute to CJ Uzomah. So let's just hope that doesn't happen unless you want to see me in tears.
Why would you do that to yourself? Well, you know what's going to
happen
happen
for
now.
Punishment, Coach.
I'm tempted to change mine to T. Higgins.
That'd be a savage move.
That would be a savage move. But I'm not going to do that to you. I'm really not. I am going to win, though. I am going to win. And I'm going to go back to the man that last week torqued his body in the end zone and jumped about 40 inches in the air and ripped that ball away and scored a very important touchdown against the Buffalo Bills. You know who I'm talking about. Byron Pringle, plus 1,100. Close to chalk, but not chalk. He is the third option. Patrick Mahomes, number 15, but number 1 in your hearts. Loves this guy, and I love him too, to get me a second pass. And then I'll take Alex in with me to the club. Or maybe the jeweler, who doesn't even have a pass. Show your face, jeweler. Oh, and don't let the baby face fool you. This man is incensed that he's not in the club yet. Who do you got, jeweler?
We're going to go with Clyde Edwards-Helaire today. I mean, you talk about going down to that chalk line. Baseball has a Mendoza line. We have the chalk line, which is exactly 10-1. I mean, you saw Darrell Williams had the great game against Cincinnati in week 17. Let's just sub back in Clyde Edwards-Helaire, get 2 touchdowns there, go over his rushing number with Maestro on the first drive, and have a day.
I can't wait for him to just run it all the way down the field and then them substitute him out and get that text from Jeweler going, why are they substituting him out? Oh,
well, as soon as that happens, you could just lock him in for a second touchdown. Been nailing the second touchdowns, but first,
if there was a
short.
if there was a pass to the club for second touchdown scored in the game, you would own the club. You would own the club. That's how many.
Horseshoes only count in almost only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. So there you go.
It's like that guy who plays parlays all the time and says, I hit 11 of my 13. I was so close. When can I come on the show? You still lost the parlay. You didn't win anything. All right. So we know that kickoff time is only 13 minutes away. You got to have time to get it in. So what we're going to do one more time, we're going to run through. Did you have something, Maestro?
No, I didn't.
All right, I thought I'd put your hand up. Okay, let's run through the donkey real quick, and then we'll say our goodbyes with the best bets up on the screen, and then we're going to get the hell out of here. Mikey, real quick, one more time, if you would, please.
Yes, donkey here is Kansas City minus 0.5 point. Cincinnati Bengals plus 14.5, under 64.5 in the game. Joe Mixon under 79.5 rushing yards. Joe Mixon over 19.5 receiving yards. Mecole Hardman over 9.5 receiving yards. Travis Kelce over 64.5. CJ Uzama over 19.5. And Jamar Chase over 69.5 plus 1,600.
All right, that's very, very good. Now, I've been saving this the entire show, but a little added bonus for you. We've had, if you've been playing with us this entire week, we've had different parlays, different teasers. We've been telling you to play. So this is what we have pending. Rams money line, Cup, Gay over 1.5 field goal. Still play that one. Chiefs money line, Burrow, Mahomes. Still play that one very, very quickly. Then today's gym, Canes, Hawks, Chiefs, Rams. Play that. And then last night, Warriors hit already if you played it. Then we got the Chiefs and Rams today. So we've got a bunch of tickets that I'm ready to cash just for you, or with you, as I should say. All right, I like to end every single show letting my guys tell you exactly what they're most looking forward to in this game, so you can look forward to it as well. And while we do that, here's all of our best bets, and you can pick out the ones you like. You don't have to play every single one. Pick out the ones that you like, and they're all going to cash. We're going to wipe the board. I'd take 2 losses. Yeah, I'd take that. All right, so let's start. Mikey, what are you most looking forward to today in the Bengals and Chiefs for the right to go to the Super Bowl?
I'm looking forward to the Kansas City Chiefs earning another trip to the Super Bowl, starting with a first touchdown from Mecole Hardman. Look for a nice drive to start the game from the Chiefs. And then I'm looking forward to see how their defense can get pressure on Joe Burrow like the Titans did last week.
You're such a savage how you always work your little play into there with your take. I love that. I absolutely love that. All right, AB, talk to me.
Yeah, like we said, teams that win a game this postseason are 10-0 against the spread. I'm interested to see if the Chiefs make that 11.
Damn it, I am too. Alex, what do you got?
No 2 quarterbacks are playing better football right now than Joe Burrow and Patrick Mahomes. I am looking forward to another classic duel. If this game is 80% as good as what we saw in Week 17, we are in for a real treat.
You're damn right about that. Our anchor, the Maestro. Bring us home.
I'm looking to see if the Chiefs can break a trend. Teams often overtime win in the playoffs, 3-11 the last 30 years, 3-11 straight up. I want to see if the Chiefs are able to, come out with intensity, do not look sluggish after that epic win. Let's see how they come out in the first drive.
You must have been reading my mind, because that's exactly what I was going to say. I'm most looking forward to seeing how the Chiefs respond from the jump for several years now. And it's because of number 15. They're very comfortable getting behind. And that needs to stop, especially against a team that can score like the Bengals. The first quarter is going to dictate how this football game goes. I want to once again thank all of you for tuning in this entire season. It's been amazing as the show, the brand, SportsLine continues to grow. We couldn't do it without all of you. A reminder, we'll be back at 5:45 Eastern time. We will sweat the end of the Bengals and Chiefs and get you set. Sides, totals, props, everything for the 49ers and Rams on the NFC side of things. But as you know, at this time of the show, there's only one thing left to do, and I believe you all know what that is. You've got your marching orders. Let's take all of these AFC Championship tickets straight to the pay window. For my entire crew, Prop Stars, M Squared, AB, the Maestro, and of course, our executive producer, the jeweler who puts it all together here at the brand. I am the coach. We grind, and we grind for days like today. These are the fun days, so enjoy it. The AFC Championship is on the way. Bengals, Chiefs, and this is your show. We call it The Early Edge. Good luck.